Please join me in our opening prayer. The energy of love is within us and is us. Whole and complete is the I am that we are. We awaken to the truth of our being. We will this be done within and without. May we come to recognize that we receive all that we give. We know that we have forgiven others when we have forgiven ourselves of all grievances held within our minds. May we not be led into temptation by the voice of separation, but instead may we transcend all illusions. For ours is the power, peace, and love of Christ consciousness found within each of us, who is but the perfect extension of the one mind and heart that is shared by all, and is our birthright as the holy extensions of love itself. Our affirmation of faith. We believe in one God, the author and energy of all life, whose love sustains the universe and all things found within it. And our 5 Christ principles. There is only one energy in the universe. That energy is love, at all times active in everyone, everywhere. 2, we are the divine energy of love, and that energy is found throughout the universe and in all things, whether seen or unseen. 3, we create our experiences by what we choose to think, feel, and believe, thereby establishing our responsibility for our own choices. 4, through opening our heart center, we connect with the energy of love and bring out the Christ within us. 5, we express our desire to be of service when we live and demonstrate Christ consciousness in all our affairs.
Good morning, everyone, and good early Sunday morning to you that are here, and to those watching, and to those who will watch later this week. Yeah, I understand it's early, the loss of an hour. Many of us are still trying to figure out if we're awake or not. This morning, I've chosen a topic that we often don't talk about. And I've titled it, Challenging Our Beliefs. Right? Challenging our beliefs. When Jesus, the Christ, was here 2,000 years ago, part of what got him killed was he caused everyone to challenge their beliefs. Now recognize, some of us hold to our beliefs so strongly that we're willing to kill and die for them. And you can see that played out in the life of Jesus. So let's start with something easy. Show what he did and what he asks us to do still today. Jesus was the first to call God Father. It made God personal. It made God close to us. But it did something else. If God is the Father, then we are his children. That was new. That was a new thought, a new concept. Everybody thought God was somewhere out there. To the Greeks, he was on Mount Olympus as Zeus. And to the ancient Hebrews, God was in heaven, but heaven was out there someplace. And Jesus said, no, heaven is within you. And it still amazes me today. Jesus says, you can find it in the Bible, the coming of the kingdom is not observable. The kingdom is not observable. You cannot see it with these eyes. And yet people are still looking for it. They're never going to see it. Why? Because he told us the kingdom was within us. It is within us. So why are we looking out there? Then Jesus said something like this. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? Well, I look around today and I see a lot of people trying to gain the whole world. For what purpose? What purpose? Unless I missed something. We all have one thing in store for us. We will pass from this plane of existence. And I'm not sure if anybody's ever realized this or not, but as many funerals as I've been to, I have never seen a U-Haul behind a hearse. You're not going to take it with you. And Jesus even went farther. He said, why would you store your treasure here where moth and vermin can get to it, when if you would store your treasure in heaven, there would be no moth and vermin that can get it, and it is yours always. I thought a pretty good deal. So Jesus invited us to challenge our beliefs. And we live in a time where, for whatever reason, with news and social media, instead of challenging our beliefs, we're becoming more solidified in them. But what is a belief? Why is it so important to challenge our beliefs? Under the spiritual law of belief, a belief is a thought and a feeling that has risen. The more you have a thought of a kind, it creates a belief. And the more thoughts and feelings you have, the stronger the belief comes. The stronger it gets within you. And then you just believe it. You don't question it. You don't challenge it. For instance, bless its heart, until Galileo, everybody thought the world was flat. Even though in the Bible it says it was a sphere. But remember, nobody read it. He meant to tell us, oh, by the way, the world's round as a sphere. And he was almost killed for it. Because everybody believed the world was flat. There's still a whole lot of people who believe today that believe the world is flat. That's their right. But boy, when you hold to such a belief, any belief, it doesn't matter what the belief is, and you are not willing to challenge the belief, you have what is called a poor spirit. Jesus described that as well. Because your mind and heart is not open to learning new and greater things that can move you closer to the truth. That's what challenging your beliefs is all about. It is to move you closer to the truth. Well, where's the truth? The truth lies within us. God isn't out there somewhere. He is within us. So why are we looking out there for him or for something when he is always with us? No matter where we are, God is. Because wherever we are, he's with us. Always. Without challenging our beliefs, we fall prey to the thought system of the world. The world tells you that only what you can see, touch, taste, feel, and have awareness of with your senses, that's what's real. And Jesus tried his best to get those of his day to challenge the belief. Because that which is seen will pass away. But that which is truly real within each of us will last forever. But the world would rather us look out than look in. And there's a reason why. The world does not want you to know who and what you are. Because if it can keep you looking out and searching, it controls you. Seeking is a form of slavery. To seek in the world, you are then bound by the world. But the world cannot give you what you are looking for in truth. Only by turning in will you ever find it. And you will know, because there's a joy and a peace that fills the heart. We each have that divine spark within us. And the more we come to that divine spark, the more it grows and gets larger. Jesus challenged us. We who thought we were darkness, he said at the Sermon on the Mount, you are the light of the world. But how many people do I know today that still don't understand or believe that? And this is from the Master, this is from the Christ. And we still don't believe it. So we run around pretending that we are what we're not. We're the light of the world. So my question is, why do you still believe that you are darkness incarnate? That brings me to another point I wanted to discuss. There isn't anyone sitting here in person or watching or who will watch later this week who doesn't know or believe that at some point, at some time, they will officially draw their last breath here in the physical realm. And Jesus, we're coming up on Easter, went to the cross where he drew his last breath. And before he did, he said, into thy hands, Father, I commend my spirit. I give you my spirit. And it looked like he had died. Because that's what everyone believed. I still know a lot of good Christians who still stand in front of the cross, looking at the death But he's not there. He told us on Easter Sunday morning, I am here. I'm risen. I am the life. He told us before he died, he was the truth, the life, and the way. As the Christ. Why do we stand in front of the cross, looking at it, when the risen Christ is behind it? That's where life is. If you're in front of the cross, staring at the cross, you're only looking at death. That's all you can see. That was the purpose. So that he could prove that death is a lie. Death is a lie. Boy, that's a belief we all need to challenge, because it does hold us. And I will end with this. The time has come for us to challenge our beliefs. Right now, the world would have us split. And you can see it when you turn your TVs on. You can hear it on the news. You can see it for yourself as you read the paper. We think of each other as bad. We judge each other because the other person doesn't fit this belief we have in our head of what is supposedly right for us. So we judge against them. Wow. What part did we miss 2,000 years ago when the Christ, as Jesus said, love ye one another. Love ye one another as you love yourself. And do not judge anyone or anything. 2,000 years later, we still hold to the belief that it is all right to condemn another because they don't match or fit some idea or image that we have in our head of what we think is right. And the Christ said, love ye one another as you love yourself, period. I have looked. I've looked for y'all. I challenge you to go look for yourselves. See if there's a comma behind it. There isn't. It's a period. It doesn't say, love ye one another, except if someone looks like this or does that. Or it doesn't say that. It says love. We wonder why there's such grief in the world. Because we don't love. Challenge your beliefs. When you look at someone and go to judge them, stop and ask yourself, are you just simply falling back on an old belief? Or is it possible that you can change and actually do what the Christ invited us to do? Love one another. Love one another with all our heart, mind, and spirit. Love. Whenever you come up against something and you feel fear or something irritates you, something happens and you don't quite care for it or like it, stop. stop and choose love. Choose to do what the Christ asked. Find out how much different your life will be by making the change. That's how you challenge your belief. You challenge it by making a change. It isn't just questioning it. It's following through with it. It is actually making a change. This past week, I was invited to do an exercise. Boy, it has turned out to be one of the greatest exercises in challenging my beliefs. And that is, any time that I have found myself wanting to resist something, or being mildly irritated, or just is like that voice, the yeah, you all know it. I was invited to do this exercise. I said, stop. And within, make the statement, I will let this experience take me deeper into God. Take me deeper within. Take me deeper into the God within me. Immediately, I'm no longer in resistance because I've turned within. And I recognize that whatever the experience is allowing me the opportunity to go deeper, ever deeper into God. But I can't do it if I'm in resistance. Because if I'm in resistance, I'm in fear, anger, or whatever. It's all the same. But the moment I recognize it and choose, I will let this experience take me even deeper into God. Now the experience becomes one of a mystery, because there's something in the experience for me to help me discover more of God. I've been doing it now for a week. And the challenge is wonderful. It's eye-opening. And I do that mean no pun intended. Challenge your beliefs. Don't just fall back on, oh, that's the way it's always been. That doesn't cut it anymore. If you truly want to experience heaven on earth, turn within. It's where heaven is. But you have to challenge your beliefs. Because the world is going to keep you focused out here. And the Spirit will always tell you, if you're listening, look within. Turn within. Go within. And my last statement today is, the only way out is in. Think about that. The only way out is to turn in. Thank you.
As we ponder what the message that Eddie gave today. Let's just move a bit in our seats and get comfortable. And let your breath start to set its own pace. Breathe in, I am. And breathe out. Breathe in, I am. And breathe out. Breathe in, I am. And breathe out. As you sit there, let's reflect on this series of questions. Where do I search for love? Where do I search for laughter, joy, peace? Where do I receive energy? And where do I search for God? Look back on your week and ask yourself where you found these things. And as you go about your week, reflect on this. Do you seek for these things in separate places? Or do I seek them in union with God?
I'd like to thank everyone who is here. And thank you, Miss Penny, for the reading, the prayer, and the meditation, the reflection. And thank you, Marvin, for such beautiful music. Thank you who are here in person. Thank you again to those who are watching. And thank you, Jim, and good morning to you. And thank you for all those who will watch later. Again, we are here to live the truth of our being. Thank you. Go this week and challenge every belief. If it is true, hold to it. If it isn't, just let it go. It's all right to change. If you would, please join with me in our closing prayer. Silently say with me, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, all that I receive. We give and receive in love. Amen. And if you'd like to know more about the church, you can find us on the web at www.ulchurchofchristconsciousness.org. Until next week, have a good one, guys.